All right, welcome back to Jake's Chop Shop. On this episode, guys, we got blast pipes on the car. We've got massive slicks, and come on, we got the most crazy headers you have seen in a hot minute. Let's get into it. Okay guys, so before we get into this episode, I told you there is a big announcement, and I can't believe it. You know what? The support from everybody is just fucking incredible. I can't even thank everybody enough. A special few, I won't name quite yet, but this is unreal. So what happened is, after that video posted with the car in the street and the blower and everything, I actually was able to get in contact with Summernats and talked to some really good people, and we went over a few things and talked about my situation and whatnot and some stuff that's happened and all that sort of stuff. And I'm so happy to say we're working together. They've said I can come, so I'm allowed to come to Summernats. So this wouldn't have happened without everybody like coming together. So I'm honestly thankful for everybody that's involved in that. Jimmy, thank you, I love you. No homo. But yeah, we're gonna be there. We're gonna be there. But saying that, it's on me. It's there's lots to happen here. You know what I mean? Jed's behind the scenes doing stuff. I'm doing stuff. I'm leaning on so many people right now. It's not even funny. But we're gonna try our best. Now, that comes into our next point. So we've got these shirts. This is the 11/10 t-shirt. I've got a AS color. Now this is a large. I'm normally extra large, but this is a large. They're a thick t-shirt and everything. We need you to support the channel at the moment. Grab one of these. The other designs we've got are the OG shirt. So you can get these two, and the bucket hats are still available. So I did mention there might be a little bit of a giveaway with the shirts. Now, I thought about it, and me and Luke were talking and whatever, and we were like, we need to give something away. And I'm the type of person, I don't even want to be charging for merch. I don't really like the idea of it, but obviously we have costs and it helps to build along as well. So what I want to do, hear me out. Now, there's terms and C's that come with this, because there's a massive variable, and it's this car. But anybody that buys this shirt, whether it's a OG shirt, a hat, one of the 11/10 t-shirt, what I'm gonna do, because this car is everybody on the community, we're all together. If I see you at Summernats, right? If you're there and this car somehow makes it there, come up to me. Anybody with Jake's Chop Shop merch, if there's a free seat in the car, you're coming for a lap. Literally come up to me, say hello, jump in the car. I want to take everybody that buys a t-shirt, everybody I can. If I've got to go completely broke with paying for petrol all weekend, I will, because it's your car as much as it is mine. So anybody that support the channel, Summernats, come for a ride, all right? So we'll get into the video now. That's the end of my spiel. Thank you for your support. Alrighty, so it's Monday morning, and off the bat, I've already made impulsive decisions, which is probably gonna fuck me up. Let's go have a look what I've done.
First of all, it's Friday.
Oh. It's Friday, actually.
It's Friday, like 2 p.m.
Anyway, check this out. We got 32 by 14 inch slicks. Goodyear Eagles, alright? Now, Cletus McFarlane might be in the US, but we got the Bald Eagle right here in Australia. Alright, it's on, baby. Anyway, we're gonna rip the wheels off, because the problem is, I got these tyres, and they're like mocking tyres. Right, mocking up tyres, because they don't have much tread left. And then I like got it caught and like ripped the tyre to pieces, because I was gonna run the mocking tyres just on the street and for the dyno session and everything, because what someone will throw out, I'll use quite happily. But then the problem is with tyres, that a big tyre is they're expensive, like really expensive. Some of you might know, those tyres are probably worth like $800-900 each. So I bought these $100 for the pair. Yes, they might have some sidewall cracking. Yes, they might be 10 years out of date. Yes, we're still gonna make 1,000. Yes, we're gonna street drive it. Yes, it's gonna be okay. All right, so let's chuck, we're gonna drop the coilovers, pull the wheels off. Me and Jed are gonna put the wheels on and see how much more cutting we're gonna have to do, or if they can even work. Let's get into it. It's not that much bigger.
No.
It's bigger, but it's not astronomical. Just depends how much bulge these things have, which might be a big issue. All right, we're gonna unbolt the bead locks and do a little changeover now. Right. Do you do it like this or sideways?
Nah.
See if it works. It might work, it might not.
Wait, that will work. Yeah, it's gonna work. Keep going. It's almost there.
I'm gonna get my cock out the way.
Ah, you're right.
I don't want my cock to get caught in the wheel.
It won't then.
Your penis getting caught in the bead is not good. Good on?
Yeah.
Flat. That's a big tyre. Do they even call this a big tyre? Is this a big tyre car now?
Yeah, this I think this might be a big tire car now, bro.
I like the look of it, but fuck me, we're gonna try and fit it now. All right, let's get to putting them on. I'll get the other one fitted and we'll see if we can get them in under the car. All right, let's see if we can get the tyres under the car. No. We're just clearancing. Clearancing today for Andrew. We're going racing. We're doing racing things. Part about this job is I can't see a thing because my glasses are fogging up today, so I was doing that cut completely blind. So if this is off or anything, it's Jed's fault.
What?
Hot damn, look at that. Unwrapped. It looks killer. Jed was right. But do they fit? Absolutely not. Not even close to getting on and off. Getting these on and off is like fucking, you need a removable rear quarter panel or something, I'm telling you. But you know what? I'm convinced. Let's try and make these work, okay? Let's try and up the difficulty a little bit more. Since people want to talk about low cars. Let's go. Alright, so getting back into it, I've been fucking around, had a few delays, bits and pieces, but as you can see, the wheels are on the car. Now it rolls, but our problem is, because of the height, the actual side of the slick is hitting in this area, it's rubbing up against that area. So I've got it deflated at the moment. We pumped it all the way up to see how much it expands, because the slick expands a fair bit. We might be able to run these. Maybe, maybe not, and I'm not really prepared to shorten the diff to do it. So we'll see how we go. I've also got another pair of slicks I've been offered from John, JSR engines, and they are 30 by 12, 15. So a little bit of in-between size. So we'll try those out as well, see how it looks. Also give good year with the cool graphics on the side. That's happening. I just cut out some of the support to make that happen. But the next thing on my to-do list is the exhaust. So I just sat the bumper on there, and I'll show you. The bumper sits pretty much like this. Now, we're going to have the blasties coming through that rear panel, and I want them to sit about here. All right, now I might be changing that, I might not be changing it, but that's how I'm aiming for them to sit, two pretty close together. We'll just scallop the number plate to make that work. So we're gonna run two 45s. Come in here so they can see. Gonna have two 45s coming off these V-bands. Coming in there, I'll make the angle so it works quite nicely. We're gonna scallop this center bar, bang a hole saw through the rear, cut this pipe in half, boom, through the middle, and two sections that are gonna go through, all the way out, finish here. So we'll get into that now. Now some people like to use laser levels and whatever when you're doing your blast pipe situationing. But here at Jake's Job Shop, I prefer Build X tech screws. Get yours now, do your roof well. Alright, let's lift this bar up, come on. What we're doing, now for real, I'm just gonna tech screw the bar through the sides because I haven't drilled any holes for the bar yet. So we'll get the bar in place, roughly. Doesn't have to be, watch the Juco. Fucking hurt myself. We're gonna guesstimate where that bracket is. Push on the outside. Oh, we're well at. It's on there. Is it on? I think that's on. Second time's the charm. You got it in? Is it on? Yeah. Keep going. It's not all the way in. I mean, it'll hold it there. Yeah, make sure the other one's in. It's now ready to go to nuts. No, but seriously, what we're going to do here is just try and get the right spacing for the blasties. Because it's got to be good, it's got to look right. I might actually infill the bumper afterwards and make it scallop around. Real good texture on here. So what I'll do now is I'll have a look at it for a little bit and I'll figure out whether I want them close together or further apart. We've got to keep in mind that if we pop tyres in the car and the pad, this is obviously going to be quite close to the ground. That's why I'm not going underneath of it. I'm going through, because we'll more than likely be scraping the lower of the bead panel along the ground. So just think of it, make it nice, work out some center lines and work from there. All right, so bang the blasties through those two holes, 4.5 inch holes, 4 inch pipes. Still got to sheet those up around the inside to create a bit of strength, but just been looking at it and that's the length that I've come up with. I feel like it's all right. It's not too much in your face. I've just been standing back having a look at it, seeing if I'm happy. And I think the problem is, like, they're actually big pipes, but then when you look at the tyre that we've got on it, the tyre's a massive tyre now. Like on the video, it probably doesn't do it justice, but that's a big tyre, 32. So the pipes probably look a bit smaller. I think that's what's throwing this off now. Because I'll give you an idea, like, that's a big fucking tyre. But they're sitting there, not too bad. So that'll work quite nicely. So next thing I do is I'll just probably get those in place roughly. I might do a couple mounts off that cross member there to hold the exhaust in place and then pack the sides of the hole. So put a bit of packing around it to hold it center, do 2 mounts, and then all I have to do is join from the pipe to our rear section. But if we got that in place, we know where we have to land with the bends. Get it? I feel like that's alright. I feel like it's not too bad. None of us can see. We're fucking blind here. You don't want to get these brackets too hot when you have it all together because it melts the fucking rubber, eh? So what do? Heat them up, can't. What do we think?
El Blastos, pretty sick.
El Blastos, there we go. Our visitors from the Mayhem Automotive. Oh, here he is. No, we just finished up doing the blasties, getting those mounted. So brackets are done. Now I just got to do a little scallop on that middle bar there to make it look a bit more profesh, and then just join the pipes over the diff to that. Boom, done. And then plate on the inside of here. Put a Saturday now, and just got back from the city. Had to go meet Stuart down there. So Chris from Melbourne organised all my exhaust bits and pieces at a wild price. So I'll put his link to his business in the description. He does a bit of custom work, started up his own gig. So props to him. He's doing some cool stuff. We'll just have a look what we got. He also sourced me some stainless flanges. He got these plasma cut for me, so 12mm thick, 2-inch holes in them, and we got heaps of J pipes. I think we got 15 J pipes, all 2-inch. Some 90s, all bits and pieces, and these are the collectors that Jordan sent me. I just put them through a bit of paint stripper, cleaning those up. And yeah, this is going to be the start of the next chapter. So get these headers made up. I'm super excited because that's when it starts to really come together for me. So we still got a few bits and pieces to do before the end of the video. So I want to get those engine plate holes drilled in the bottom of the rails. Last night I made up the rear sections of the exhaust, so they're all tigged up. That's all done there. Now I was in a bit of a rush last night, so the welds aren't crazy. They're not bad, but they're far from spectacular. Obviously mounted our exhaust hangers, nut inserted under the rail, got some brackets here, and I've just got a plate inside the hole, so I'll put a sheet of metal in there tie that all together, and that's where the pipes come out. So happy with that. That's coming along. So that means the rear end, the pipes from in front of the diff all the way to the back are done. Coilovers are done. Wishbone locator's done. Fuel tank's done. Fuel pump's mounted. So as you can see, we're sort of checking off that list. We're building the whole car. We've got the brake line that runs down there, boom. That's all in the car. Brake line down the side of the chassis. Up under here, a bulkhead. Brake line's here, coilover's fitted. Brake line runs down the middle into another flex line. Now don't mind all the rust cuts and everything on this, because that still has to be done. But the first thing, the most important thing, is to get all the mechanical parts, all the big things in place. So that's what we're doing. The next thing we're gonna do is engine back in the car, right? And we're gonna work out how much we have to cut out of that firewall hole. Get that in position. Obviously we've got our transmission cross member done. Sit the engine in there and we'll start building our headers. Get the headers built, finish off the exhaust, so connect it from, because let's say our headers are gonna finish about here, where the collectors are. We've got to finish the exhaust to the crossover, do an X pipe there, boom, that's another job done. So as you can see, we're just working through it, one thing after another, until we get to it. So hopefully on Monday, I think the video might be out on Monday, but I believe in picking up my engine. We're gonna have another big order of stuff come in. And yeah, we're pushing through. And then the next thing is get some wheels. So John Scorpos from JSR Race Engines has, his son has another set of old slicks that we're gonna try out for this car. So they're just a little bit smaller. They're a 30 instead of a 32. So that might stop the rubbing in that area, because that's our biggest issue at the moment for the tubs. But underneath the car, it's all actually cut out now, up around the frame, so I can sit the tubs in there. So we're just working through it and we'll get there. So I'm gonna slap those sections in the exhaust cutouts, get that happening, tie that up, put that back together, and then we'll move on to the engine and headers. Alrighty, here it is. So blasties in place. Those plates running through the beaver panel, all fitted. Not that you can see it at the moment, but give you an idea of how stiff it is. The whole system at the moment, since we've been locking it in, that's not going anywhere. But you can see the mounts there, little notches, goes up and over. I just finished off some of the welding on that tube that runs through the rail. That's all nice tigged in place. So we're getting there. We are getting there. It's 3 AM at the moment. It's December 1st. I think I'm gonna pull an all-nighter tonight. I had a bit of a lazy day today, slept in, but I think I've got enough juice in me. Today's Monday, so it's gonna be a massive day. Try and get a video out tonight, if not tomorrow. Gotta get this, finish off sleeving through the rails for our engine plates. Do that. Got all our exhaust bends. Check them out. Thank you, Chris. Okay, so before we put the engine in to make our headers, we've got one more job ahead of us. So this looks a bit messy at the moment, but there's gonna be a plate that goes over the top of that and fills in that middle bit over the whole thing to strengthen this front rail. But before we put our engine mounts in, which to give you an idea, are gonna sit there, right, where the engine plate goes into. Now I've tigged these up off camera, so they're all nice. Got a little brace there. What I've got here is these bits of tube I've cut. So I don't know, I'd say that's probably like a 1.6 or 2 mil wall thickness tube. Just some old bit of material I had lying around. So what I'm gonna do with this, for crush tubes, in the front rail. So how this works is this tube here. So I've just got it mocked up with a bolt, and you can see it. If you look in there, there's the tube, right? So this slides into here and around the edge at the top and underneath, I'm gonna just TIG weld it to the rail. And what that's gonna do is gonna mean that when we do this bolt up with our engine mount, doesn't matter how much we do the bolt up, how tight we do it, the rail isn't gonna crush together. So all these old cars and stuff like that, I love putting crush tubes and everything. Anytime I sort of mount something through a bit of tube or fucking RHS or chassis rail, it's a good practice, because then you can do it up as tight as you want and it's not gonna just compress the rail, you know what I mean? And over time the bolt comes loose because the rail's sort of squashed, adds a bit of strength to it. If the mount is to move, it has to pull a lot more before it can move, you know what I mean? That bolt can sort of move. So it's just an extra strengthening thing we're gonna do, because obviously there's gonna be a bit of force through these mounts and whatnot, so we'll strengthen it up as much as we can. So I'm gonna hold it there with the nut and bolt, and then get it in position, tack it up with the TIG, both sides, remove the bolt, and then TIG it around the top, TIG it around the bottom. So we'll do that now, then we'll sit the engine in, we'll start doing our headers. Okay, so we welded those up, just linished them off, and now you can see there's a tube in there. And that now, you can already feel it a lot stronger. So the bolt's just gonna go through there, boom, perfect. All right, I get all these plasters from United's as well, by the way. So now we'll just make sure this is the right length, because I've got two different lengths. Boom. Boom. And there should be thread out the bottom. Perfect. So there you go. That's all ready to bolt up now, and it's gonna be strong, it's gonna be good, it's gonna last. Time to put the engine in, and then we'll get started on the headers. I'm excited for the headers. It's another big step in the right direction for the car. So we'll get that done, and that's a very time-consuming task, doing all the headers. So there'll be a few hours in that. And once we get the headers, we can do the midsection of the exhaust, tie that off. So then we're checking things off the list. You know, you can see it start to come together. There's a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. We still got a fucking long tunnel to go, but there's a little bit of light. So, all right, so we're here at FCM T-shirts in Adelaide. So this is where we get all the bucket hats and the shirts and everything. And this is Tom. How you going, bro?
Good, bro.
He's done quite a few runs of shirts for us, and this is the new design. So there it is in the flesh, AS color, heavy. It looks wild in person. I'm super wrapped with this one. Thank you, Tom.
No
He does a wild job, and you can see some of the other stuff he does here as well. FTM shirts. I think you do some other shit as well.
Yeah, all clothing.
All clothing. So if you need some custom stuff, this is the place to come. He's pretty creative. Do you do some designing here as well?
Little bit, yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Layouts and that type of thing.
All kinds of stuff. So there it is. Shirts here, FTM. And we're just picking up the first little batch of test run, and we're going to get them made as soon as we get the numbers for the pre-order. Moving forward, we have just off camera, put the engine in. So Jed gave me a hand with that one. Little slacker pulled a sickie today, but I made him pick something up from Outlaws today when I was on the other side of town before they shut, so he made up for it. We just put the engine in before. So that's all sitting there, mocked up, engine, transmission, sitting in the car. Now, we're gonna sit the blower on the engine just to see what the clearance is for the fuel reg. So I'm not really sure where that's gonna run, because this crazy header idea we'll talk about in 2 minutes, the fuel reg may get in the way, sort of. So we're just going to see how that goes. Mock it all up. But to do that, we're going to talk about what I got in the mail the other day. So from Jordan, Elite Race Fab. So he makes these plates here. So it's a blower lift plate. So just like the normal engine valley plate lift plate, it goes on top of the blower. You just screw it in, 6 bolts, goes in there, and you can lift your whole setup off. Obviously, this is already attached, so you're not really supposed to take the intake manifold off with the blower, but just for mocking purposes, I've got it all screwed together. So we're going to lift that up, put that on the engine. The plus of having this plate, obviously, is if you're doing it solo like I am usually in the middle of the night, these are fucking heavy things to lift. So that's a saving grace, because honestly, if I didn't have that right now, there'd be all kinds of, like, I don't know, soreness happening tomorrow after I just like ninja on top of the engine while I'm lifting the blower. And these things are like probably, I don't know, maybe like, that's got to be a good 30 kilos or something, maybe probably more, and they're awkward to lift. So lift plate, Elite Race Fab, look him up Instagram. I'll put the link in the description. Check those out. So we've got the blower, we'll chuck that on, and we've got some other cool bits here. So I picked these up. ICT billet, right? Now I got these through Outlaws. They're from the States. Now what they are is they're coil pack brackets that mount to your factory engine mount location. So this bracket here goes where the engine mount normally sits, and then you got these coil brackets and separators where your standard coils mount to this kit here. It's out the way, it's under the headers, pretty nifty unit. So usually you got to find somewhere to mount them, and they're not really that good to mount under the dash or anything like that, coils, because after a while they will always fail. I can't tell you the science behind it, but you don't really want the coil wires passing through metal. So that's going to sit under the headers there, out the way. Nice little kit. So if you want some of these, give Outlaws a call and tell them you're looking for the ICT remote coil billet brackets that go onto the engine mount location. Now, I think they make these for a few of the later model engines as well. So we're going to chuck those on. So the next thing we're going to have a look at is these billet coil plates, brackets, whatever you want to call them. Look at that, that's nice. Just looks nice. It's got all the different holes for the different style coils. I think the US peoples, they have a lot more weird ass coils. You can see diagram there, what's going on. Real nice diagram. It's got some fucking measurements on it. I just love American stuff, hey. Made in USA, just nice. You know what I mean? Just nice. Fucking love it. Oh, this China shit. It's nice. It's just nice to have a nice product, you know what I mean? Feels good. I like it. Let's open all this up and see what you get. Straight from the US&A. I like things that come with all the hardware too. That's always nice. You know, when you buy something and then you don't get hardware, and it's like, yeah, it's easy enough to get hardware, but sometimes, like, I don't have just all even bolts or enough even bolts. You know what I mean? And it's just a nightmare of going through all your stuff trying to find some fucking bolts, and it's usually when the shops are shut, or to drive to United. Here we have a place called United Fasteners, and you got to wait in line for like 10 years for then the guy at the counter just to fuck your order up and then go back and forth for 10 hours. Ask me how I know. But these ones here go into there. I will say is also, these ones here, these like actual coil brackets themselves, on the website, they look kind of cheap. But actually feeling them, they're thick, like nice, super nice. I'm super happy with this product already. Okay, here's my big plan for the headers. So, I've heard about this idea of 180 degree headers. Now, some people may have heard of it. I'm only new to this. So, the idea behind the car was I wanted a crazy header design that sort of came up, didn't tuck down, it sort of came up and utilised all the space in the bay here as like a bit of a showpiece. And I was scouring the internet, trying to find examples and bits and pieces, and often I like to refer to, like I'm into like real mechanical sort of builds and stuff like that, and old race cars and stuff like that. And that's where I stumbled across it in like a sort of the old Ford versus Ferrari sort of era, where they used to run 180 degree headers out the back of the cars, like race cars and whatnot. And what it is I did a bit more research on it, and it's about scavenging exhaust gases and whatever. So I'm not going to go into the science because I don't know the science, and I'm doing it because I want something that's unique, you can't buy, that looks cool, and it's something to catch your eye. So I've done an example on paper to try and get your head around it to the best of my ability, and I've drawn a bit of a plan about how I'm going to do it. So here's your collectors, okay? So we'll grab a collector real quick. All right, so we've got our collectors here. Right hand side of the car, left hand side of the car. So the steering wheel's here, the collector's here in position, right? Let's look at it like that. Now, the firing order of the LS and whatever, I couldn't tell you. It's like fucking 1, 8 something, blah 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 blah, whatever. Now, what this whole idea is instead of running your headers out and going down one side, what you're doing is you're crossing over 2 pipes from each side. So imagine all these red lines are your left-hand side one, right, collector. So I'm taking the cylinder 4 and cylinder 6 and I'm bringing them out across into your left-hand side collector. So we're going across the back of the engine. Now, we're going to run it up high and in this space here. That's why I had a little bit extra room for that engine there, right? Some of you may notice it was quite a bit forward. Now, the idea of it is you're going to fire number 1, and then obviously it fires number 8, and then it goes number 7. So you sort of skip a cylinder, but 1, 7, 6, 4, and it's in a circular motion, right? And it's like twisting the gas out in a way, if that makes sense. So it's pushing it out. And that's what we're doing. So normally it like skips the cylinder, and I think it's like 90 degrees and then closer to 300 degrees for the next one. So basically it's just utilizing the flow and sort of creating like a twist in the airflow out the exhaust is my understanding. Now, I'm not a professional. I couldn't tell you. We're going to test it out. And you know what? After this, I might look like a massive fucking idiot. So be it, right? We tried something different. And that's what I've done. So I've also just drawn it out here because I need to draw something out for myself. I need to see it. So this is the front of the engine. They're your cylinders and all that sort of stuff. So your green lines are for your right-hand side collector. And now what I've done here, you see some of these lines come back. Now I'm sort of just trying to figure out where I need to add a bit of length so that all the pipes are relatively equal length. Because I don't know what the deal is with the science behind that, but everybody likes equal length pipes. So we're going to try our best to get ballpark equal length. So that's why I've added a little bit of a fucking curve here. Boom, 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 boom. Now this is a very agricultural drawing, whatever, but at least it gives me something to wrap my head around so I can go back, look at it and go, I can kind of see where we're going. All right, so this is the plan on paper. And now let's get these bends. We'll start tacking on. So I've also got the flanges bolted up here, 12 mil stainless steel, 2-inch Let's get it. So it's going to be a big night, fun night. I'm going to get into it, get a bit of an idea, and I'll start filming and I'll explain a few bits and pieces along the way. This is a lengthy process, so I can't film the whole thing. Realistically, there's probably about, I don't know, just in tacking it together, that you can easily pump 20 hours into it. No worries. And if you're going to do a crazy, like a spastic killer job of welding it and all that sort of stuff, you can, the amount of hours that can go into a set of headers is astronomical. So we're going to try and find a nice medium there where we can't obviously spend a couple hundred hours on them, even though that would be fantastic in a perfect world. I don't know if I'd have the patience, but we're going to do the best we can with the time frame we have and get it there, because it's just me. You got to remember that it's just me. It's not like a whole team behind us. I'm going to get into it. Okay, so what I've done off camera is I've just started having to play around with some pipes here. Now, this is all a mess at the moment, but what I've done is I've cut a few in half, made a few shorter lengths. Tried not to sacrifice too much. When I'm doing this, I just like to take a few bends and I'll try and use them in a few multiple ways to figure out how everything's going to sit. It's going to be tight, but I think we can do it. Now, this still might not work. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm going to like it. I'm not sure about it in general, but we're going to give this a red hot crack because I think it could be very cool. I'm still adamant on it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to have a crack with this side, right? When I'm doing this as well, especially with something this complicated, I'm also looking at how I'm going to remove it and everything. So I think the best shot I've got at making this work is actually putting the collectors right here. So just hide them out the way, but just down the side. So the exhaust can be unbolted and taken out over the top of the engine. It might not work like that, but that's what we're going to go for. What I've got here is this pipe here. It's going to come around here and then down. We're going to have the front pipe. It's going to be this pipe, come down here. This pipe here is going to be cut, go down, go around the back of the engine. So is that one that goes underneath. So we'll do that. We still got to allow for another 2 pipes to come down here. It's going to be close. And the other thing I've got to think about is this fuel line, the fuel feed, where I'm going to put it. Now, I think I'm actually going to put a bulkhead in the top of this plenum. I think that might work. Again, I'm not sure, but I reckon we're onto something. The other thing, I've got some custom rocker covers coming. Well, not custom, but aftermarket ones that sit up a little bit higher. So we've got to be mindful of that. Make sure that's all right. We have enough clearance to remove them if we need to. Because we don't want to have to take the extractors off just to get to underneath the rocker cover. I think that's a bit extreme. I don't mind having to pull a few things off, to pull the headers off, to work on certain things. Yep, no worries if it's a big problem. But for little things, pulling the rock cover off, having a look underneath, getting to your intake manifold and whatnot, you have to be able to do that, I believe, without fucking with anything to do with the exhaust. That's sort of the line that I'm going to draw between looks cool and custom and one-off and also usable. All right, so let's continue. All right, check it out. that's one side, the main bit done. So I was going to go further and tuck the two top ones around the back, but I'm going to wait until I get the rocker cover tomorrow from Aeroflow, the billet one they make, and just check clearances because I might have to extend this up a little bit more so the rocker cover can be unscrewed and lifted out. That's the only thing we've got to check. But what I'll do now, I'll jump over to the other side. I'll mock all this up on this side. So then all we have to do is pretty much connect the rears and duck them down. So I think we're going to have enough clearance to do it. Just. Now these are 2-inch pipes as well. So I might fine tune them, get all the angles perfect. Well, not perfect because it's never going to be perfect. It's me doing it. But we're going to get it pretty good. Now, I'm losing over this, seriously. This is killer. And you can see what I mean by the clearance. So we're going to have the 2 there come up, and we'll have 2 on this side duck underneath and go down into this hole where my fingers are, into there, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Worst case scenario, I will notch the firewall to make this work. So one of the hardest things when you're doing headers is we done one side, and that was actually pretty smooth sailing. Like a bit of fucking around, that took a few hours. The other side is actually a little bit harder, even though we got a basic idea of what we're doing with it. It's about making it symmetrical now. And because I don't use no fucking, like, you know, those blocks and stuff you can get, I really do want to get a set. But I got to sort of guesstimate and just look at it and fucking have it sitting right. And they're not going to be the same because the pipes are going to duck at different angles to pull this off. But it's got to, from the front, it's got to look right. You know what I mean? So that's the biggest challenge with doing something like this. You got to take time, look at it, just spend time looking at it. And like I always say, if it looks right, it is right. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's a great saying, but it doesn't apply to everything. I'll tell you that for free. But for when you're doing this sort of stuff and letting your, I don't know, art expression sort of flow as you're going through the job, it has to look right. I feel like that's a key to making it like come together well. Okay, so that's going to be a wrap for this episode. So last night my phone went flat, but this side of the headers is all just dummy assembled. Now I've just taped them all together. That's my favorite thing to do because I don't have those blocks as I was talking about. So get some masking tape, hold it in place, tape it up. It's pretty strong. That way you can sort of remove them all, tack them together and go from there. So I think this week I've got to go back to work because I'm completely out of money, I'll be honest with you. So we're going to go find some more monies. We're going to try and keep the progress going. So I think there'll be probably about 4 or 5 days before the next episode. I'm in the background after hours. I'll keep chipping away because it's like 30 days to go and I don't have time for anything at the moment. We got another massive order of stuff coming in. So you'll see that. We'll see it later today. So next episode, all the fittings, line, all that bullshit, bolt-ons, accessories. The engine I got off the phone with Brett last night and he reckons that's done. So I'll pick that up this week. So much going on and the stress is unreal. You should fucking see what's going on in my brain right now. That's happening. So happy with this. Happy with this. But obviously, like I said, I can't finish the pipes until I have the rocker covers to see what the clearance is like. So everything you do, you have to depend on other parts as well. You would have seen that through this build so far. Like, we have to verify fitment on so many things. It's crazy, but we're getting there and we're making good progress. But I think that's it for this episode. I'll see you very shortly. Please show your love. Get one of these t-shirts. Remember what I said earlier, so get in your chance. It's gonna be cool. Dude, I love you as well. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you next time.